Hello, this is Rachel Eva. Welcome to day 5 of my 40-day video challenge during the last 40 days of a Business Accelerator program. And today I want to talk about something that has been really important, very, very critical for me and the progress that I've made over the last year. And to start talking about that, we have to talk about dreaming. I am a dreamer, and I used to be I titled this vlog, I used to be a dreamer, but that's a little bit misleading because I still am. I think that if you are someone who dreams, and I'm not talking about like going to sleep and waking up and oh my gosh, I had this crazy dream, but of course I do those too. And I have some really, really vivid dreams, but we're not going to get into those. I actually haven't dreamt a lot in the last year, which is really interesting. I'll have to think about that later. But I'm talking about dreaming like for your life, casting vision for your life, thinking about what you want to do in the future. And this is something that I used to do a lot, and of course I still have to do. I'm sorry, that sounded really bad. Of course I still do, and it's not a burden for me to dream. That came out a little funny. But one thing that can be burdensome about dreams is if you don't have a way, or you're not in the practice of habitually turning them into reality. And that's what this vlog post is about. Because I am a dreamer, and Shawn Michael is a dreamer, and we have these big dreams for our lives, and we have a big vision that we're working towards, but there's that key point right there, which is the working part. You hear this in every story where there's a hero dreamer. There's someone in there saying you got to get your head down out of the clouds and come back down to reality. And somehow, usually in that hero's journey, that dreamer figures out how to thumb his nose at that person who is boo-hooing on his dream or her dream or vision. And in the ultimate, successful hero's journey, that hero or heroine is then able to accomplish that dream. But then there's that part in between about like, how do you accomplish that dream and not just stay the dreamer? Like that's the challenge that I'm talking about today, is not staying that dreamer. And there is a point, I say about 5 years ago. So Shawn Michael and I have been married for, it's 11 years last week. And about 5.5 years ago, there was sort of a pivot point where we're like, okay, we've been talking about these things that we want to do and the way that we want to live in our lives, and we keep going down the same path. So our dream is kind of over here in this direction, and we're sort of like, we were wanting to go that way, but we're kind of making choices that are taking us in this direction over here. And so what do we need to do to course correct to go towards that dream? And so there's an important thing about intentionality and intentional work towards your dreams. I heard a great explanation of that at actually one of our workshops through the Business Accelerator program. And it was a gentleman named Jun Han, I believe. And he was talking about business strategy. But it's really important to have that vision, like that very, very, very future cast thing, the thing where you're headed, the thing that you may not even attain in your whole life, but it's the thing that orients you in the direction that you should be going in. And if that's not clearly defined for you, then you'll start making decisions that will take you off the path of the way that you're going. And then what can happen is you start making these compromising decisions, right? You're like, okay, this is the way that's towards my dream, but if this is kind of loose and not clearly defined, you might take there's an opportunity or a fork in the road, and this might see like the better opportunity at the time. So that could be an opportunistic choice that takes you in this direction. Maybe it's a job with better pay, maybe it's an easier route, like it forces you, taking this route would force you to have to maybe deal with some things you're avoiding. And so you take this way. And if you keep making those incremental choices without being oriented towards a long-term vision, then you can end up over here, and then you're in your 40s, your 50s, and your dream's over here, and you stop and you look, and you're like, oh, wait, I'm not over there where I thought that I would be at this point in my life. And then over yourself over here is like, I'm going to try to jump over that way. And he said that's when midlife crisis happens. You just make some drastic decision to try to reorient yourself to a place where you realize you didn't end up, and then that sort of is out of sync with your current MO. So that's important. There's the vision part is important, and I talked about that yesterday, our why. Like, what is the core of our business? What are our why? What are our guiding principles? Those are all guiding us towards this vision here. But one of the things over the last year that I have found to be incredibly helpful is the word execution. And I actually have above each of my goals, I set quarterly goals. And right now I'm setting monthly goals even too. But I set quarterly goals, and at the heading of above my quarterly goals, which I paste, I always put execution is greater than vision. To remind me that it doesn't matter how good my vision is if I'm not executing towards it every single day. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in my daily vlogs, that's one of the things that I am trying to put in every single day, is what is the most important thing for me to get done today that'll move me towards my vision. And so what is the thing that I'm going to execute on to move me towards my vision? The most important thing from yesterday was to ship that order to the East Coast, which I did. And the most important thing for today is to do the next round of interviews for my administrative assistants and assign some work for their trials over the weekend so that I can reassess them and hire someone next week. So that's been a really important guiding principle for me. That's also a motivation behind this vlog. I have 40 days left, 35 now, in this program, and so how am I going to be executing every single day over the next 35 days so that I'm closer to my vision at the end of this program, which is really hard sometimes when you've got a bunch of life that gets in the way and you've got 2 young kids and you haven't even finished your coffee for the morning. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks for joining me. Tune in tomorrow for vlog number 6. I don't know what I'm talking about yet, but I'll figure it out by the time I get this end screen slide up. Have a great day.